Am I the a-hole for not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom? Plus update. Original post. Okay, I already know it sounds bad, but I, 35 female, and my husband Jeff, 37 male, are currently expecting a boy. His first child, but my second. I got pregnant with my first when I was 18, and his dad was never in the picture. I work as a substance abuse counselor, and I love my job. And this is where it gets tricky. My job offered me 8 weeks PTO for when I have our son. I've been so happy because I didn't want to go right back to work so soon. Me and Jeff got together when I turned 30, and he moved in with me because I own my house. We just got married this year and have talked about childcare multiple times, so he knows I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. Well, I'm due in November and he just brought the idea up again. I was very confused because we've already talked about this. But I guess my mother-in-law and sister-in-law believe I should stay home with our son as a mother and wife. I just don't understand where their opinions come in, because I already know where they stand as both of them stayed home with the kids. All 3 of them sat me down to have this talk, and they want me to focus on the kids, cleaning up the house, making dinner and all of that, but I already work and do those things. Well, mother-in-law decided to throw it in my face that I never got to be a stay-at-home mom because I was a single mom going to school and working, which she's not wrong, but it definitely made me angry that she brought it up. I told them that I worked so hard to give my son a good life, and having another baby doesn't change my decision to keep doing something that I absolutely love doing. And that if they all want someone to take care of the house and kids all day, then Jeff should be a stay-at-home dad because I make more money than him, and it would make more sense for him to stay home instead of me. It turned absolutely horrible after that. I got yelled at by mother-in-law and sister-in-law that it's not his role as a father to do those things, that he is the man of the house and should be the one making the money. Jeff just stood there not saying anything, and I blew up and reminded all of them that it is my house, not his. I then kicked mother-in-law and sister-in-law out, and Jeff is so mad at me that he went with them. He said I won't come back till I apologize to all 3 of them. So am I the a-hole for not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, and I'd think long and hard before letting any of them back in. So am I the a-hole for not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom? Nope, not the a-hole. It's 2022. OP, you make more. It's your house. Your in-laws are dinosaurs, and your husband just proved that he doesn't have your back. Bonus, here's your to-do list for tomorrow. 1. Change locks. 2. Make appointment to see family lawyer about custody, parenting time, and child support in your jurisdiction. 3. Research them on internet in meantime. 4. Resolve that none of those 3 people gets back in the door unless they provide you with a fulsome, sincere apology. Sorry about the marriage, OP. I hope it was fun while it lasted. Not the a-hole, but your significant other and his family sure are. Their ideas on gender roles are extremely outdated and harmful, and the fact that Jeff agrees with them enough to leave the house and wants to force you to apologize to them is a huge problem. Like, I cannot overstate how big of an issue this is, and what a bad pretend this is for your relationship and for your future child together. Please reevaluate your relationship with Jeff and whether or not his value systems are compatible with your own. Do you want your son to be taught this drivel about how he needs to grow up to be the man of the house? Do you want the rest of your life to be cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children for Jeff? Because presumably he won't lift a finger to help you. Because that's not his job? Because that's what's going to happen if you stay with this man and let him and his family treat you like this. Please be compassionate to yourself and to your children and realize that you deserve far, far better. My vote is the husband set up mother-in-law and sister-in-law to deliver this message. And he didn't do it with the goodness in his heart of having the baby have a stay-at-home mom. He did it so Opie would take care of him like his mom used to. Now for the update. It's currently 1:15 a.m. and Jeff just called me. He informed me that he cleared out our joint bank account and deposited it into his personal account. Bail money, savings for future trips, groceries money, etc. That he's been thinking, and the only way he'll come back home is if he can be responsible for all the finances. And I put his name on the house too. I said absolutely not, and hung up. I have already reached out to my boss and will be working from home tomorrow via virtual meetings. I will be calling and talking to attorneys tomorrow morning to see what my options are. I didn't let Jeff know I will be home, so I'm sure he'll try to stop by. I will update again soon. That escalated quickly. I don't know why they thought an employment intervention would work on a pregnant woman in her house. It's as if he married her because she was a ready-made woman and didn't need to do the initial work by buying a house and being the sole provider for a while. Oof. He wants his name on the house too. Something tells me he's going to lose more than the house. The fact that he stole the joint account's money will make him the luckiest man on earth if he gets visitation. But, Your Honor, I only took my pregnant wife's grocery and household money so she would give up her job and become a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to force her to rely on me to be the sole provider. I'm also asking for her house since as a stay-at-home mom with no money, she doesn't have any way to keep up with the expenses. This guy doesn't deserve OP. He is a toxic, controlling, misogynistic jerk. I hope he enjoys the next 18 years of child support. May the child never see their sperm donor outside of the court-ordered supervised visits. I hope she finds a shark of an attorney and goes scorched earth on this dude. I don't think a judge is going to look too kindly on him emptying their joint account meant for bills and leaving his pregnant wife without that money out of pettiness. All she needs to do is document and refuse to communicate except through her lawyer. Any texts or voicemails should be turned over to her lawyer. I went through my own not-so-great custody case many years ago, and I had a really good law firm behind me that emphasized that all contact goes through them and to report any attempts of contact since my ex was informed everything needed to go through the lawyers. Yes, from what I've heard, they don't tend to look kindly upon that at all. It's freaking gross and abusive. I literally laughed out loud when I saw that not only did her ex do that, he actually gave her a heads up. This guy is about to be spanked by the heavy hand of family law. Next story. Am I the a-hole for expecting my ex-husband to provide for me? I, 40 female, got married when I was 26 to my now 50 male ex-husband. He has always provided, but I was unhappy at some point in the marriage because I felt alone, and he was always traveling for work. Fast forward to 2016. I left him early that year, and later that year when I found out he had a girlfriend, I made him sign a parental responsibility agreement, giving me custody of our daughter 11 female, and I getting around $3,600 as child supports per month. When he had to leave my country in 2020, I couldn't sustain the child on my own as I have never worked. So I sent my daughter to live with him, in his country, under the promise that he would help me get residency so that I could stay near my daughter, even if he would have custody of her. Fast forward to now. He clearly knew I don't have an income and that I was relying on child support all my life. But since he wants the divorce to marry his girlfriend, I want to stay married to get my citizenship. I'm now in art school to make a living, but he is not supporting me in any way. Am I the a-hole for expecting him to treat me like the mother of his child and not just a blockage to his future marriage as his girlfriend puts it? You're the a-hole. 1. You chose to leave. 2. You should have been more responsible when leaving, such as setting yourself up with a job. My mother-in-law got married when she was 18. Then they split when she was 42. She went down to a hotel and got a cleaning job. Then she got a job at Walmart because that is what she had to do. 3. Child support is for the child. You are not the child. 4. Holding on to a marriage to get into a country is fraudulent. 1. I chose to leave for my happiness. I was mostly alone. He never cheated, but at 29 I needed my husband there and he wasn't. 2. I know, but I was desperate to be near my daughter. 3. Child support is also for the stay-at-home parent. No? You're the a-hole. Stand up on your own 2 feet for God's sake. Opie strikes me as highly entitled. I'm several years older than her, so I grew up at the same time, within the same social environment. It wasn't the 50s. Women weren't taught to expect to be housewives. We were treated as if we were going to go on and have jobs and careers. I knew one woman who was much like Opie. She didn't work or even try to work. She lived off her parents until she got married and then lived off her husband. She was the exception. Certainly nobody I knew looked at that as something to aspire to. You're the a-hole. Child support doesn't last your whole life. Where I'm at? It ends at 18 and graduation from high school. You will be a better person if you learn to support yourself. If you had physical custody of your daughter, he should pay support. He has physical custody, so you don't deserve child support. When you negotiate the divorce, you can negotiate alimony. Good luck. To add on to this, child support money is to support the child. Granted that some of that goes toward the home they live in and utilities they consume, etc. But the child is being supported in his home. Why would he pay her to support the child that lives with him? Exactly this. And in addition to this, she should be paying him child support. It goes both ways. If you read her replies, she's not processing anything that anyone is posting. She is just waiting for folks to agree with her. OP, time to grow up. Get your GED or country equivalent and stop being dependent on your ex to support you. It's like marching in cleats on a toilet paper bridge. Please don't keep denying or refusing the information or advice being provided, simply because it's not what you want to hear. It's an opportunity for you to become introspective, grow, and become a better woman and mother to your daughter. For the love of Pete, please teach her to be fully independent and not reliant on another person to survive. Last story. Update. Am I the a-hole for calling my ex's mom after he called me 37 times? Original post. For a little background, my ex Jay and I dated from when we were 15 to 17. We had a pretty toxic relationship, which resulted in some really serious issues that stemmed down the road. For example, I'm now infertile due to an accident between us. After our breakup, I can only say my side. I went down a dark path as I do already deal with bipolar disorder. I had to be hospitalized for mental health after I fell apart. At this moment of time, Jay and I are 19 now and we both are in a long-term committed relationships. I don't keep up with him and we are no contact, except for his mother who I talk to occasionally. I was at work and I received a call from Jay. I thought I had him blocked, so I was confused. I work part-time at a spa while I'm in school, so I have to be mindful of what I do at work as a receptionist at the front of the spa. So I sent a text asking what he wanted. No response. I then start receiving more calls, and I then realized we have each other blocked, so I was confused. I sent an email telling him to stop because the calls were racking up and I'm at work. By 5 p.m., I had 21 missed calls and it was starting to send me into a panic attack. I have panic disorder that stems from PTSD. I sent another email saying 21 calls is overkill and he needs to stop right now. I got no response again, so I let my current boyfriend Kyle know. My boyfriend knows every little detail about Jay and my relationship because a lot of issues I have now are from that. So my boyfriend already despised Jay. I then tried to ignore it and tried to be done with work. Then around 7 p.m., I start receiving more calls. Non-stop. I turned my phone off and walked outside for a bit of fresh air and I started texting one of our mutual friends who is closer to me on my laptop. He said it's impossible for him to call me because I have him blocked. I said I thought so too. He then said to not engage with him at all, so I did just that. I kept my boyfriend aware with everything, and I told a few of my super close friends who were there during my ex relationship and watched how everything went down, and they found it disturbing. I turned on my phone and when it's powered fully on, I had 18 plus missed calls. One of my friends told me to answer it, but I refused. My boyfriend is obviously angry, not at me, and he said I need to change my number, which I am absolutely considering now. It disturbed me because to my knowledge he is in a long-term relationship, and from what I've heard, he's happy. I talked to my mom and she told me to talk to his mom, so I texted her and told her everything. After that, I got a ton of texts from his friends saying I'm low and a witch for contacting his mom. I do feel bad because we are adults and should be able to handle things on our own. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. If he doesn't want his mom called, he shouldn't call you 37 times. Agreed. That's what my mom said. Also, him blowing you up like this is probably an indicator that something is wrong in his life. So letting his mom, who I'm assuming is a close trusted family member in his life, know about it is actually a good thing to do. Not the a-hole. Now call the cops. He's out of control. My mom wants me to file a protection order for sure. That's a likely possibility. This is awful. I'm so glad you have a support system helping you through this. I hope X finally leaves you alone for good. Now for the update. First of all, thank you so much for the endless support. I felt very alone in this situation and I felt much better with your comments. I read each and every one of them. Now the update. I called a lawyer yesterday and we're trying to organize everything to see if we could get a restraining order on him. While that was in the process, I went on my days as usual. Then yesterday I got a weird call. It wasn't from his number. It was from a random and it was creepy, saying, I have a crush on you. I see you around the lobby of your apartment. Then they said they would see me tomorrow. My boyfriend was there, and we contacted my boss as I had to work the next day. So my boss was gonna stay during my shift and my boyfriend was going to pick me up from work so that I'm not alone. Everything is fine, until today when I got another call, and it was Jay's number. I still didn't answer it. I turned my phone off and just cried. Then I turned my phone on and he had called me 16 more times. I'm so unsure what to do anymore. I told my parents, my boyfriend, and the lawyers. I feel so vulnerable. I'm still at work and I'm freaking out. I do have him blocked. Someone commented that it's possible that he is using a VPN to contact me, and that's what I believe is the most reasonable answer, because I am unsure how he is able to get through. I am also going to change my number.